of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
The governor of the state himself obeys the sit-at-home on Monday, and then the civil servants that work in government house obey the sit-at-home, and government shut down on Mondays. It means the real governor of Southeast is Simon Ekpa, ruling the Southeast from Finland.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Community in distress. Their loved ones have been killed by terrorists. Human bodies litter the streets, some with deep machete cuts, and many burnt beyond recognition. It's not a pleasant sight to behold. The smell of burnt humans fills the air, and graves are being dug as the living bury their dead. According to eyewitnesses, the terrorists stormed Runji village in their numbers, shooting sporadically and setting houses ablaze with occupants in them. Those who were lucky to escape say the rampaging gunmen operated for over an hour, adding that military intervention came late.
Kill our people, kill our husband. Don't put fire anywhere. We don't know where they come from. They come kill our children with my uncle, father, my sister yesterday.
About 10:30 yesterday night, after a successful wedding of our illustrious son, the Fulanis just occurred to the village and attacked us. And many souls were killed. About 30 corpses are laying down. Many are injured, are in the hospitals. And we are pleading on the solidarity of the government to come and rescue us. We knew what is happening in this land. We are living peacefully with these Fulanis. And now we became enemies to each other. We don't know what is the cost. And we are looking for the government to come. And one thing that disturbs us, we have military men around, but they can't help us. We want the government to withdraw all the checkpoints out of our Chablan.
There are plenty, more than 200 people's attacks.
Did they bring guns? What did they bring?
They bring guns and shooting us and burn our house. Yes.
What were they saying? Did you hear anything they were saying?
They said that they will come back again and kill my children and also my wife, brother.
It's a black Sunday for these people as they gather to bury the remains of their loved ones in a mass grave.
Already about 32 people are killed. About 40 houses were burned. There was nobody that came here to help us. So I don't know. All of us were in pains. We are even confused who to complain to again now. Because we have been complaining and there's no any assistance. when the attack was going on. We called the military. I personally called them and informed them. Well,
So what was
according to them, they said they tried their best. You know, when the attack was going on, I was not there. So I won't say this is what they did. But all what I know, people were killed.
We will not run away from our land. Even if they come tonight after us, we are killed, there will still be some people who will talk, and there will be young who will rise again. Amen. And so we ask that the government of Kaduna State and the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria, they should do the needful. They know what they should do to stop this evil. They know it. I have said it, and let me repeat myself again. If by mistake one cow is killed by any of the community here, the number of military troops that will enter and ransack the community and look for those to arrest because one cow has been killed. And now we have 33 corpses and a young boy of less than 5 years who has been beheaded. What has that young boy done to these evil people?
Several villagers could be seen packing their bags to leave the village. They are scared that the terrorists may return and strike again. The people of Runji village in Zango Kataf local government area feel abandoned by the government. They want the perpetrators brought to book. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna.
Wednesday, the International Christian Concern Organization released its 2023 Persecutors of the Year report. It highlights the top 10 worst countries for Christian persecution. And our next guest says the issue is so underreported by the media that the average person doesn't even know it's happening. ICC President Jeff King joins us now. Jeff, thank you for this important work, for raising the awareness on this. You're right, most Christians are mostly unaware of the level of persecution around the world. Where are we with Christian persecution right now in 2023?
Well, I would say it's persistent, it's pervasive, it's proliferating, it's growing. And just as an example, I would say look to Nigeria. Hardly anybody knows Nigeria in the last 20 years, probably upwards of 100,000 Christians have been killed. 3.5 million Christian farmers lost their lands. And this is at the hands of radical Islam. And that's a lot of the story that's going on around the world that the press generally doesn't report.
Radical Islam, but we're also seeing countries like China, where talk to me about the status of the underground church in countries like Iran and China.
Well, that's probably the most exciting thing. One of the things I most like to talk about, that so often persecution breeds growth in the church. And the church in China, the church in Iran are exploding, especially in Iran. It's the fastest growing church in the world. And that's in spite of, 40 years of absolute terror, of repression, murder of the pastors and the Christians as a whole. It's an amazing story.
The fastest growing church in the world is in Iran?
That is true. And here's the other thing is the mosques are fairly empty, except for the old. The mosques are empty. Christianity has exploded. And that's all because of radical Islam and what they've done for decades.
Interesting. What can Christians do to support those persecuted? We're so fortunate to live in a country with the free exercise of religion, yet so many Christians don't have that. How can Christians help?
Yeah, well, first of all, go to persecution.org and then follow the subject matter. Get a magazine that's free, so you know what's going on. And at persecution.org, every day we're posting news about what's going on in that world. So that's the first thing. And then call legislators. We put out alerts when countries are doing terrible things, and we ask our leaders to call and make back channel calls, and that can make a world of difference. And then, of course, as Christians, we're always going to pray, but sometimes we have to turn over the tables, and that's one of the biggest things. Start shouting.
And so in Nigeria, to go back to your first example, the government there is hunting for pastors or for anybody who's openly a Christian.
Well, this is a group of, it's a tribal group. The main one is Fulanis. Everyone's also heard of Boko Haram, but the big problem is the Fulanis, and that's a tribe. But it's too complex to talk about this or that. Really, the simple story is this is radical Islam. These guys are Islamists. They're driving out the Christians. It's a massive genocide, a massive land grab. Again, hardly anybody knows or talks about it.
No doubt. Well, Jeff King, you're doing it with your organization. Thank you so much for highlighting it on our program. What's the website again if people want to check out that report?
Persecution.org. And thank you so much for having us on.
Persecution.org. God bless those Christians underground being faithful. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Today, first of all, if we look globally, there are more Christians being persecuted and discriminated against because of their Christian faith than any other time in human history. More than 365 million people around the globe experiencing severe persecution or discrimination. And nowhere is that persecution being expressed with greater violence than in Nigeria. In fact, last year alone, we see that in Nigeria, there were more people that were killed because of their Christian faith than all other places in the globe combined. So to be specific, there were 4,998 Christians that were killed because of their faith in Nigeria last year. So unfortunately, what is happening in Nigeria is not only happening in Nigeria. So throughout sub-Saharan Africa, we are seeing an increase in violence in the persecution, and that can take the form of physical violent attacks. It can take the form of destruction of property. It can take the form of looting. There is a growing problem as Christians are forced from their homes and living in these internally displaced camps. We are seeing that there are literally thousands of individuals that are being forced to live in these tight and cramped conditions. There's thousands of people that are living under tarps with limited access to food or hygiene. In fact, you can see literally thousands of people having to share just a couple of toilets in these camps. And so the situation throughout Africa is severe, and without some type of intervention, the trend is that it is continuing to worsen. Not long ago, there were leaders from the church throughout Africa that came together, and they asked their Christians and brothers, sisters around the globe, as well as members of these international communities like the UN and other parties, to stand with them. And from many of their perspectives, the rest of the world seems to be turning a blind eye. People are not talking about it. People are not aware of the realities, and therefore people aren't doing anything about it. And so in response, I think that we can, as we become aware and increase that awareness, and align ourselves with our brothers and sisters and stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Africa, it sends a vocal message. And that vocal message is one that for African governments that are choosing not to or intervene and to enforce the laws that would protect the rights of these Christians that are being targeted, it sends a message that the world is watching. For other countries or the UN or other bodies involved in international aid, it can send this message that the protection of religious liberties, it needs to be considered in their strategies and in their programs. For the international Christian community, it sends a message that we need to see ourselves as one body, and perhaps even most importantly for our brothers and sisters in Africa, it sends a message that we see them and that they are not forgotten. I'd invite Christians to really do three things. First and foremost, I always invite Christians to pray. And if you go to opendoorsus.org, you'll see a number of prayer resources that can specifically allow us to lift up our brothers and sisters in Africa. And as you do so, recognize that these are things that we're not praying for our brothers and sisters in Africa. We are praying with our brothers and sisters in Africa. These are things that they specifically vocalized. So secondly, I'd invite people to sign a prayer and petition declaration. And in October of this year, Open Doors will release that on their website. And it's an opportunity to signal your intent to stand with solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Africa, to let your voice be counted with theirs. Again, we're hoping to see over 1 million people sign this petition over the course of this next year. Lastly, I would encourage Christians to use their voices. To raise their voices with friends, with families, with churches, with elected officials, to let them know that these things are important, and to invite others to participate in those same two first steps of prayer and solidarity.
Well,
So what was
according to them, they said they tried their best. You know, when the attack was going on, I was not there. So I won't say this is what they did, but all what I know, people were killed.
We will not run away from our land. Even if they come tonight after us, we are killed, there will still be some people who will talk, and there will be young who will rise again. Amen. And so we ask that the government of Kaduna State and the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria, they should do the needful. They know what they should do to stop this evil. They know it. I have said it, and let me repeat myself again. If by mistake 1 cow is killed by any of the community here, the number of military troops that will enter and ransack the community and look for those to arrest because 1 cow has been killed. And now we have 33 corpses. And a young boy of less than 5 years who has been beheaded. What has that young boy done to these evil people?
Several villagers could be seen packing their bags to leave the village. They are scared that the terrorists may return and strike again. The people of Runji village in Zango Kataf local government area feel abandoned by the government. They want the perpetrators brought to book. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News.
Nigeria, they should do the need.
America, please stand for us. We are dying. America, I'm begging. Save our life. Look at this one. Let's use them. Let's use them. Please, why allow us to survive? Please send your men to come and save us. They have already finished the man to finish us. Also, we have nobody. Only God in heaven can stand for us. Please, I'm begging you, United Nations, your silence is getting worse. Yesterday, one of my colleagues, Reverend, was slaughtered with his wife and his children. And I'm right here, look at women. Immediately they were communicating. After the Fulani herdsmen have really burning down 2 villages. Then the soldiers came in, trying to cause confusion. And who are these army men that are using machine motorcycles? After they get the shoots, they will go, will stand for us. We have nobody. Everybody, we are now ready to do the last prayer. Since Islamic agenda is taking over the nations, now live at the police station in Barkiladi. Look at those at the IDPs. We have nobody to stand, and we are the survivor. Now more IDPs are being added. Where did they want to go? They have already signed our land, has been relocated to them. They have signed our villages, have been relocated to Fulani husband, and nobody is talking. Even my colleagues, reverends, are keeping quiet. Women are dying every day. Men are dying. What do you want us to do? Please, please, I'm begging you, congressmen of London, please, stand for the helpless. They have nobody. Burutai, I know you are a friend of mine in Facebook. America, please stand for us. We are dying. America, I'm begging. Save our life. Look at this one. Let's use them. Let's use them. Please, why allowed us to survive. Please send your men to come and save us. Because they have already finished the man to finish us. Also, we have nobody. Only God in heaven can stand for us. Please, I'm begging you, United Nations, your silence is getting worse. Yesterday, one of my colleagues, Reverend, was slaughtered with his wife and his children. And I'm right here, look at women. Immediately they were communicating. After the Fulani husband had finished burning down 2 villages, then the soldiers came in, trying to cause confusion. And who are these army men that are using machine motorcycles? Let them get the shoots. God will stand for us. We have nobody. Everybody, we are now ready to do the last prayer. Since Islamic agenda is taking over the nations, now live at the police station in Barkiladi. Look at those at the IDPs. We have nobody to stand, and we are the survivor. Now more IDPs are being added. Where did they want it to go? They have already signed our land, has been relocated to them. They have signed our villages, have been relocated to Fulani husband, and nobody is talking. Even my colleagues, reverends, are keeping quiet. Women are dying every day. Men are dying. What do you want us to do? Please, please, I'm begging you, congressmen of London, please, stand for the helpless. They have nobody. Burutai, I know you are a friend of mine in Facebook. America, please stand for us. We are dying. America, I'm begging, save our life. Look at this one. Let's use them. Let's use them. Please, why allowed us to survive? Please send your men to come and save us. Because they have already finished the man to finish us. Also, we have nobody. Only God in heaven can stand for us. Please, I'm begging you, United Nations, your silence is getting worse. Yesterday, one of my colleagues, Reverend, was slaughtered with his wife and his children. And I'm right here, look at women. Immediately they were communicating. After the Fulani husband had finished burning down 2 villages, then the soldiers came in, trying to cause confusion. And who are these army men that are using machine motorcycles? Let them get the shoots. God will stand for us. We have nobody. Everybody, we are ready to do the last prayer. This Islamic agenda is taking over the nations. Now live at the police station in Barkiladi. Look at those at the IDPs. We have nobody to stand, and we are the survivor. Now more IDPs are being added. Where do you want to go? They have already signed our land, have been relocated to them. They have signed our villages, have been relocated to Fulani husband, and nobody is talking. My colleagues, reverends, are keeping quiet. Women are dying every day. Men are dying. What? Please, please, I'm begging you. But I know you are a friend of mine in Facebook. America, please stand for us. We are dying. America, I'm begging, save our life. Look at this one. Let's use them. Let's use them. Please, why allowed us to survive? Please send your men to come and save us. Because they have already finished the man to finish us. Also, we have nobody. Only God in heaven can stand for us. Please, I'm begging you, United Nations, your silence is getting worse. Yesterday, one of My colleague's reverend was slaughtered with his wife and his children, and I'm right here. Look at women. Immediately they were communicating after the Fulani herdsmen have really burning down 2 villages. Then the soldiers came in, trying to cause confusion. And who are these army men that are using machine motorcycles? After they get the shoots, they will go. Will stand for us. We have nobody. Everybody, we are now ready to do the last prayer. Since Islamic agenda is taking over the nations, now live at the police station in Barkiladi. Look at those at the IDPs. We have nobody to stand, and we are the survivor. Now more IDPs are being added. Where did they want it to go? They have already signed our land, has been relocated to them. They have signed our villages, have been relocated to Fulani husband, and nobody is talking. Even my colleagues' reverends are keeping quiet. Women are dying every day. Men are dying. What do you want us to do? Please, please, I'm begging you, congressmen of London, please, stand for the helpless. We have nobody. Burutai, I know you are a friend of mine in Facebook. They know what they should do to stop this evil. They know it. I have said it, and let me repeat myself again. If by mistake 1 cow is killed by any of the community here, the number of military troops that will enter and ransack the community and look for those to arrest because 1 cow has been killed. And now we have 33 corpses and a young boy of less than 5 years who has been beheaded. What has that young boy done to these evil people?
Several villagers could be seen packing their bags to leave the village. They are scared that the terrorists may return and strike again. The people of Runji village in Zango Kataf local government area feel abandoned by the government. They want the perpetrators brought to book.
In Nigeria are one such people group. There was a report that came out today that found that 32 Christians in Nigeria are killed every single day. 7,800 have been abducted since 2009, and 185,000 Nigerians have been killed, 125,000 Christians, and 60,000 liberal Muslims. There are 22 jihadist groups. I didn't realize this. I thought there were Boko Haram. I thought there were a few Islamic extremist groups operating in Nigeria, but 22, and they're systematically going around terrorizing Christians. It's called a silent genocide because nobody cares, and if there are no Jews, then there's no news. And that's just the reality of how Western media often operates. And so because it's black on black violence, because it's black terrorists killing black Christians, the media is completely silent about this. And it's not just happening in Nigeria, in Mozambique, in the Congo, in Tanzania, lots of countries in Africa, you have radical jihadist groups that are killing and persecuting Christians. So Albanese, if you really cared about about innocent human life, you would be taking a strong stance against radical Islamic jihadism, and that is the common thread that links Hamas, that links the groups terrorizing the Christians. People think, oh, well, you know, this is just Hamas, it's only going to affect Israel. No, radical Islam will affect all of us. It already is. So it's time we actually stand up for Christians around the world as well.
Well, the problem with what's happening in Africa, I think, Freya, is that the perpetrators are followers of Islam and the victims are Christians. And that upsets the whole leftist narrative of the oppressed and the oppressor, because according to that narrative, Christians are the oppressors and Muslims typically are the oppressed. But of course, in Africa, those roles are reversed. And so the left don't want to know anything about it because it goes against the narrative. The other thing is that defending Christians for the secular left would risk endorsing views that they believe are antiquated and are oppressive. Sanctity of life, chastity, things like hierarchical social norms. And so they don't want to give moral credibility to ideas that they are repulsed by and therefore don't want to draw attention to.
The only hypocrisy in that is that you can't then endorse radical Islam because it is like, you know, if you want to talk about being backwards, that's about as backwards as you can get. But of course the issue...
And yet they do.
Of course, and the issue has always been that they are willing to do that because they think it will help in their ultimate goal, which is the destruction of the West, or to pull apart the cultural touchstones of the West, right?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Correct. And that's why things like this don't rate as a worldwide media issue, because fundamentally what people are looking for to drive these issues as a global agenda is something that can be linked to the West so that you can then somehow point it back to the West and say, you naughty West. So when you've got black people killing each other in Africa, it doesn't really serve their ends. I mean, you know, they're not actually concerned about the slaughter. And I'm not saying all people who've raised the issue about Palestine are not concerned about slaughter of innocent life, but I'm saying a lot of people who use these conflicts and these issues do so to push an anti-Western barrow. And so they're not interested in what's going on in Africa. I mean, even arguably, you want to talk about wars that we have an interest in, the West has an interest in, Russia and Ukraine. I mean, the resources and money that the Western world has spent on the defence of Ukraine. And does anyone talk anymore about the fact that 1 million odd people have been slaughtered in that war? I mean, you know, it's just certain conflicts and certain issues seem to come to the fore sometimes, and we just forget about the rest of it. People are being killed, genocided every day across the world, and it never rates.
The people of Runji village in Zango Kataf local government area feel abandoned by the government. They want the perpetrators brought to book. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna.
On. When I was the ambassador, we had Nigeria on the special watch list, and then we made them a country of particular concern because this was going on. And it's continued to take place, only it's growing. You've got more terrorist groups in the area. You've got more weaponry coming in. You've got more Christians being killed, and it's spreading throughout the region. You could have a caliphate, an Islamic radical caliphate, throughout the middle of Africa that would have 500 million people if you don't get on top of this. And yet, like you say, nobody even knows it's going on. When I was the ambassador, we had Nigeria on the special watch list, and then we made them a country of particular concern because this was going on. And it's continued to take place, only it's growing. You've got more terrorist groups in the area. You've got more weaponry coming in. You've got more Christians being killed, and it's spreading throughout the region. You could have a caliphate, an Islamic radical caliphate, throughout the middle of Africa that would have 500 million people if you don't get on top of this. And yet, like you say, nobody even knows it's going on. When I was the ambassador, we had Nigeria on the special watch list, and then we made them a country of particular concern because this was going on. And it's continued to take place, only it's growing. You've got more terrorist groups in the area. You've got more weaponry coming in. You've got more Christians being killed, and it's spreading throughout the region. You could have a caliphate, an Islamic radical caliphate, throughout the middle of Africa that would have 500 million people if you don't get on top of this. And yet, like you say, nobody even knows it's going on. When I was
Biafra is only asked for. Every night and day he's shouting and pointing to one direction. But his own people are blind and saying it's causing division. Tell me why someone who sacrificed his life for you and I. Tell me why out of sight has become out of our mind. He's asking for nothing and cares about not for his people emancipation. But there is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you a clue. In the morning sun will rise. There is a breaking news. Biafra is only asked for. Every night and day he's shouting and pointing to one direction. But his own people are blind and saying it's causing division. Tell me why someone who sacrificed his life for you and I. Tell me why out of sight has become out of our mind. He's asking for nothing and cares about not for his people emancipation. No. But there is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you a clue. In the morning sun will rise. There is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you a clue. The morning sun will rise. He doesn't care about nothing and abandon his family. Take your time and think what he's going through. He doesn't want to give up but to protect you. Even when they throw him African juju. Oh no, freedom they cannot now. Let me hear you sing. Freedom they cannot now. They cannot now. Freedom they cannot now. You hate him because of envy. We love him, he's one and only. We follow him because he's ready to die for the freedom of his people. Whatever he said is a prophecy. Take it on your living letter, you believe. He's so fanatical and ever ready to die for the freedom of his people. There is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you a clue. In the morning sun will rise. There is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you a clue. The morning sun will rise. Freedom they cannot now. 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 Freedom they cannot now.
glorious Biafra, we have emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious, our trumpets pealing the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra, we shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes, our prayers shall be known both day and night. Say them always, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, Biafra, shining forever.
We observe a minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, and the time starts now. We mourn our heroes past, we celebrate them. Our heroes living, we celebrate them as well. And every Biafran fighting on to see that Biafra is fully restored. Ise, Ise, Ise. Greetings, greetings, greetings to everyone, and I salute you all. I welcome you all to this very late broadcast. That's what I will call it, but looking at all the channels that are watching, it doesn't look as if it is late from your end. But this is my late hour and my available time from work. I salute all of you for your good works that you're doing, and the numbers of people that I see that are still awake watching from only Twitter alone, from only one channel, is so encouraging. So that means what BRGI are doing is penetrating deep. I salute our leaders here on the screen that have lived before us, starting from our eternal leader, Dim Modumeku Ochuku, General Philip Effiong, Mazin Namdi Kano, Wazirike, our PM, our APM, our BRGI cabinet, our Biafra Defense Forces, and all Biafrans that are contributing their daily breath to make sure that we survive Biafra. I appreciate all of you because at this time, it is only in Biafra land that you are not crying. Now is the time that they say, as it is sweet us, it depend them. As it is sweet us, it depend them. As it is sweet us, it depend them. People did not take the significance of the Biafra Declaration of Independence, the Biafra referendum of the Biafran people, which we carried out in February 2024 to November 2024. They took us for a joke. They wrote all manners of petitions against us. They wrote all manners of propaganda, blackmail and slander and caricature in the media. They were laughing at us, and they laughed at our PM. They laughed at the Biafran people. They went as far as kidnapping our supreme leader from Kenya, and they glorified themselves when they successfully used some of our elders and some of our IPOB brothers and sisters to complete the kidnapping process. They went on the national television of Nigeria and they were glorifying and they were making the announcement in Fude Fude. They explained it to the entire world that they have successfully kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought about the birth of Eastern Security Network, which was a child of necessity that came to be because of these same numbers of massacre that you see on the screen. From 2009 till date, over 125,000 Christians have been massacred in Nigeria. The evidences are there. The videos are everywhere. The one you see on the screen here is in Kaduna, over 33. You can hear how they lamented. They even said they want the Nigerian military to be pulled out of their land. Their checkpoints and their roadblocks, and everywhere that they see them, they don't want to see them again. Because what is happening? What is happening is that they aid and abet the terrorists. The person speaking here is T.Y. Danjuma. T.Y. Danjuma is a former serviceman of Nigeria. Listen to him.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
T.Y. Danjuma had existed before the fraudulent independence of Nigeria in 1960s. T.Y. Danjuma has been in the politics of Nigeria. T.Y. Danjuma has been a former Nigeria's chief of army staff. So if a chief of army staff, a minister of defense of Nigeria from 1999 to 2003, a minister of defense, just like you would say he is the one in charge of the defense. Just like you will be talking about chief of defense staff today of Musa. T.Y. Danjuma is the one that spearheaded the defense. And in 2020, to this date, he is now waking up to tell you that every one of us must rise up, that the armed forces are not neutral. They collude, they work with the terrorists. Terrorists that are coming to maim you and massacre you, they don't work alone. They are working with these people.
So I won't say this is what they did, but all what I know, people were killed.
We will not run away from our land. Even if they come tonight after us, we are killed, there will still be some people who will talk, and there will be young who will rise again. Amen. And so we ask that the government of Kaduna State and the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria, they should do the needful. They know what they should do to stop this evil. They know it. I have said it, and let me repeat myself again. If by mistake one cow is killed by any of the community here, the number of military troops that will enter and ransack the community and look for those to arrest because one cow has been killed. And now we have 33 corpses and a young boy of less than 5 years who has been beheaded. What has that young boy done to these evil people?
Several villagers could be seen packing their bags to leave the village. They are scared that the terrorists may return and strike again.
They are scared that the terrorists may come back and strike again, and they are leaving their villages. It is only in Biafra land that you are not running away from your community and going to Yoruba land to go and stay. It is only in Biafra land that you are not running away to go to Cameroon to go and stay. It is only in Biafra land that you're not running away to go and stay in Hausa land. That is why some of you have even forgotten the good work and the value of Biafra Army. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, Ojukwu, Philip Effiong, Owazirike, Okechukwu Ngere, and the Biafra government cabinet and the de facto government cabinet. You don't even place value on them because they have curtailed the massacre that should have been happening to you. So you are now living in a fool's paradise. Yes. You know, when the drum of war is not sounding on your backyard, you will sleep and snore like hippopotamus. You will sleep while other people are running from in Kaduna, running in Kwara, running in Plateau, running in Zamfara. You, your own, Biafra Defense Force, is sacrificing their lives and defending Biafra land, and they are standing at the entrance point of Biafra and the exit, and they are stopping the terrorists from coming in. So you don't know what is actually happening. They are not cutting your babies and your women into two to remove the babies, so you don't actually know that war is happening in Nigeria because of the existence of Biafra Defense Forces. That is why Igbo politicians want to wipe out anything that they hear that it is Biafra independence, Biafra army, because they are not happy that we are not allowing what is happening in Kaduna and Kano to happen in Biafra land. In Biafra land, you can sleep and relax yourself. In Biafra land, you will not be thinking whether terrorists are coming to invade your community like this. You're not thinking whether you have to start running and pack your bags and leave. There are some interior parts of Biafra land that they don't even feel that there is existence of war in Nigeria because the Biafra army are taking the bullet. There are men and women, volunteer army that have sacrificed their lives to take the bullet for you. So some of you don't even place values on Biafra army. You don't place value on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu existence. You don't place value on Simon Ekpa. You don't place value on Biafra because you have been allowed to live in a fool's paradise. Yes. You have been allowed to sleep and have overcomfort. Biafra army have shielded you and formed a defense mechanism and protected you in such a way that when people are running away from their homes in Zamfara and Kano and Kaduna and Sokoto and Borno, Your own, the reverse is the case. Your own, that time, you are snoring. You sleep very comfortable. You look for palm wine and drink and relax. People are sacrificing for you to have that safety. The people that are sacrificing for you to have that safety are the Biafra Defense Forces, are the Biafra de facto government. You only need to reciprocate by contributing to support the Biafra Defense Forces, by giving them all they need, enabling environment, being security-wise, giving them all the logistics, providing everything that they need financially and otherwise, so that they can get more granite to protect Biafra land. If not, you will end up like these people that you see that are running out of their own indigenous and ancestral land like this. It is only in Biafra land that people are not running away like this. And the thank you is to the Biafra army, which you need to support with everything in your pocket. Because if they leave that gate and allow the terrorists to come into your lands, what you see here will be worse. Your governors are not protecting you. Your senators are not protecting you. Your ministers are not protecting you. Your paramount rulers and your religious leaders are not protecting you. Instead, what these people are doing is to see if they can hang your head on a spike. This is what our governors are doing. This is what our senators are doing. This is what our ministers are doing. I think we have a latest photo of these governors and ministers. Let us get their latest photo to put it on the screen. So, this is what the governors that you have are doing. This is what the ministers that you have are doing. But the people that are dying every day, putting their lives on the line, protecting you and keeping you away from being annihilated, are the Biafra Defense Forces. And these same Biafra Defense Forces, the Nigerian zoo terrorists, are using your governors, your ministers, and senators to go after them and kill them. That is why we are here every day to remind you that your problem is not Nigerian terrorist government that is in the far north. Your problems are the politicians that we have who want to see us all wiped out. What the Nigerian terrorist government could not do, what these terrorists could not do that they did in Zamfara, what they could not do in Biafra land, those that are coming to do it for them are who? Are the governors that we have, are the senators that we have, are the paramount rulers that we have, are all the people that we have that want to serve Nigeria. Igbo politicians, starting from the first state of Biafra to the last one, they are the ones that jail Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They are the ones that want Mazen Nnamdi Kanu never to walk out a free man. They are the ones that want to kill all of you. They are the one that wants Nigeria to strive. They are the one that wants Nigeria to continue while all of you are wiped out. But I ask a question. Why is it that the senators and the governors and the ministers of the North rather want to see that their people are protected and kept secured? They don't want you to come and crush their terrorists. But rather, our own governors, our own ministers, they want to come and kill us because of Biafra. So these are the people that are your problems. This picture you see on the screen, these are your problems. The one that you see that is shaking hand here with Tinubu, that is Senator Osita Isunasu. That is Senator Osita Isunasu. This is the person that stood in the National Assembly and said, Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, the activities of Biafra, he's not brought to book, that if we don't go after him, if we don't go after the Biafra people and shut them, that they are afraid that we will open their eyes and everyone will come to know the reality in the zoo.
The people of Runji village in Zango Kataf local government area feel abandoned by the government. They want the perpetrators brought to book. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna. Community in distress. Their loved ones have been killed by terrorists. Human bodies litter the streets, some with deep machete cuts, and many burnt beyond recognition. It's not a pleasant sight to behold.
Many burnt beyond recognition. Human beings burned in their houses beyond recognition. You saw the videos that came out from those places. I think we can still play another one so that you see. There are series and series of these videos. So, Biafran people, these are the people you have to hold responsible and ask them why they jail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, while the terrorists are enjoying themselves. Why nothing politicians protect their terrorists? Ask them the very simple question.
The smell of burnt humans fills the air, and graves are being dug as the living bury their dead. According to eyewitnesses, the terrorists stormed Runji village in their numbers, shooting sporadically and setting houses ablaze with occupants in them. Those who were lucky to escape say the rampaging gunmen operated for over an hour, adding that military intervention came late.
Kill our people, kill our husband. Don't put fire anywhere. We don't know where they come from. They come kill our children with my uncle, father, my sister yesterday.
About 10:30 yesterday night, after a successful wedding of our illustrious son, the Fulani just occurred to the village and attacked us.
It is heartbreaking. I salute all Biafran people. Tomorrow is Friday, and Saturday is our mega fundraising, and then on Sunday we have a Canada town hall meeting. And all of you should check your emails. If you receive email referring to previous payments that you made, please contact your reps and admins of your countries. But check your emails, because you may receive some emails from previous payments that you made. We must support this Biafra with everything that we have. Some people say we used to carry only bag to go to Washington, D.C. But you see, the carrying of bag to Washington, D.C. has actually brought the massacre of Christians in Nigeria to the limelight. Yes. And the entire world and everyone are saying and talking about it now. That is the stepping stone to where we are going. You can see how we have been shaking Nigeria. We shake them in a systematic way. We shake the foundations of Nigeria. Nigeria went to United Nations General Assembly, and instead of them to have glory and come back, they came back in shambles. They came back in shame. Nigeria went to the UN General Assembly and were soliciting for independent states and recognition of Palestine. I don't have any problem with that. You all have your opinions. But when you are committing the same crime against another emerging independent state. Another emerging independent state, which is Biafra independence. You say they don't have the right to live, they don't have the right to have their independence. But you go to US and stood in New York to tell people in the General Assembly of United Nations that Palestine deserves a recognition of independent state, that it is self-determination, that they have the right to live and to have independent state. So what happens to Biafra people that happens to come out from the very country, Nigeria, where you came from, to come and be making this pronouncement? And what also happens to the Duduwa people who also came out from this very Nigeria, which you came out to make that pronouncement? These two emerging nations are fighting the same cause which you went to United Nations to go and stand and pronounce and solicit for their recognition. Is it that the Palestinian people deserves independent recognition state, and then Ambazonia don't deserve, and then Biafra don't deserve, and then Oduduwa don't deserve? Okay. Potato. Yeah, merci. So, you went to US, you solicited for Palestine. This Palestine, you say you want them to have recognition of independence. Is it not the same independence that the Oduduwa people want, which you are killing on a daily basis? Is it not the same independence that Biafra people want, which you are killing on a daily basis? And the God of Biafra will make all of you to start speaking in different ways and to confess with your mouth. You were all in the UN General Assembly. You were lying and telling the world that this and that. All of a sudden, the US senators started opening the petitions that we have submitted against you people. Yes, because they are surprised that all of you want to come and glorify and reward Hamas terrorist massacre of October 7 for independent states, while you now ignore over 125,000 Christians that have been killed in Nigeria since 2009. And the report made it from the other report that we read before. There is a composition that every day, how many numbers? Let me see again. This makes it known that every day, 30 Christians are murdered in Nigeria in 2025, which from this report is even more than this. But they are just trying to see if they can have a little accuracy. But it's more than this. It's more than this, because there is no day that you don't hear that a Christian is massacred, that there is terrorist attack in one community or another. There is no day that you don't hear. There is. So if 30 Christians are massacred each day in Nigeria in 2025, and then nobody is talking about it. The vice president of Nigeria went to UN and told UN that Nigeria is peaceful, that everything is fine, that all is asking UN to do is to take Palestinian and Hamas issue serious, while there is nothing happening in Nigeria. But this is in Nigeria, in Kaduna, where this man is telling you the Fulani terrorists came to their communities and slaughter all their people in their communities. Listen.
And many souls were killed. About 30 corpses are laying down. Many are injured, are in the hospitals. And we are pleading.
And a baby that is not up to 5 years is also slaughtered. They cut the throat. And then you went to UN and told UN that everything is good. And you people were also shocked to see us. You see, many things happened within this September. Honestly, many things happened within this September. Many things happened within this September. It is still in this September that we ascended the podium of the US Congress. We ascended the podium of the US Congress House. We ascended this podium before the beginning of the UN General Assembly. So before the beginning of the UN General Assembly, we have already gone to prepare the ground. Remember that we submitted petition to testimony to US Congress in August. And we had already made a public deal in the same beginning or ending of July. Then in September, we now enter US Congress for a congressional briefing. So that means we have prepared the ground in several ways. And then we left the time bomb. We let the US Congress lawmakers to know what Nigeria are doing and the kind of thing that they need to expect from them when they come and how to reply back. So as you are seeing all these bombardments from all the media ends, don't be surprised. Just be clapping that God gave you BRGIE. Those that said our APM used to go and snap photo and carry back, that bag that they used to carry and that photo you used to snap is paying off. You see those bags you used to carry here? It's paying off. Look at the bags here. The bags are paying off, All these photos you used to snap and the bag you used to carry, they are paying off. The calibers of people he is meeting on going for those diplomatic engagements, they are paying off. Yes, they are paying off and the benefits are coming out slow and steady. The benefits are coming out slow and steady. So, as these benefits are coming out slow and steady, we appreciate Biafran people and we appreciate all of you. And we say continue to do more because we have much ahead of us. Now, let me go to the main thing that brought about the topic of this broadcast. Because the Nigerian terrorist government have been fighting a war and they hide that war from the entire world. And then recently, Tinubu mistakenly, it is God that did it. God used his mouth to confess that Nigeria had declared war against Biafra independence. Yes, the publication is there, and that is what made the topic of this program. But while that is happening, we have Igbo politicians that have become a disgrace and very useless to humanity and to the Biafran people. The only thing that they can sleep and think of is how to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, how to end Biafra, how to destroy Biafra army, how to destroy General Gento, how to destroy General Butuzo, how to destroy Simon Ekpa, how to destroy Nnamdi Kanu, how to destroy Kenkere, how to destroy BRGI, how to destroy IPOB, how to destroy anyone that is talking about Biafra. That is what Igbo politicians only have in their brain. They don't have strategies or modus operandi of how to engage the terrorists. They don't have modus operandi of what to do to make a change to the people of Biafra. No. The only thing they think of is, Mr. Speaker, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa of Biafra is not stopped, that he may succeed in opening the minds of Nigerian youths to the reality of the Christian genocide. So, according to the Senate, we conclude that we must stop these people before they open the eyes of everyone in Nigeria. We have already opened the eyes of everyone in Nigeria. Yes. We opened by going to US Congress. Yes. And the news are skyrocketing everywhere now. Some of you were taking the US congressional briefing to be a joke because you do not understand what happened there. That is why I've not come to sit down to explain anything about it. We are just allowing it to bear the fruit. Let it bear the fruit. Let it bear the fruit. You will be seeing the fruit. You are seeing the fruit now happening gradually, gradually. The significance of that congressional briefing was to open the door, to give many other people the courage and the foundation to stand up and see what Nigeria is all about, and understand the reason why the Biafran people declared independence, and also step up their games. Did you see all these media houses and the bloggers and the international lawmakers coming in and keying into the massacre and the genocide in Nigeria before? No, you did not see. The petition and the testimony that BRGI submitted to the US lawmakers, it has detailed everything and more. It has given a scope of what the genocide in Nigeria is all about, how they target the Christendoms, where they are going, and how they are coming against the Biafran people. We declared Biafra independence because of this Christian genocide, this massacre of the Christian people. This is one of the reasons why we declared Biafra independence. Because we are massacred, and the government of the day cannot and are not ready to stop the massacre and to help us. So we have to devise a means of taking care of our people so that our babies, women, and children will not all be slaughtered overnight. It is called self-determination. When we section ourselves out of a contraption, we will now be able to identify the real terrorists and how to combat them. We will be able to mount our territories and control it. We will be able to surmount the enemies that are trying to come in. We will not be crying and wailing and gnashing our teeth while people are using knife to cut off the throat of our babies, just like this man was saying here on the screen. That is why now all of you were hunting Biafra army, hunting Biafra people, hunting IPOB all over the place. We have paid series of sacrifice. When we were paying the sacrifice, when they killed us in Nkpo, Nigerian army fired shot at us. All of you were laughing in Nigeria. They said because we want Biafra independence, so they have right to kill all of us. We gather anyway, we gather. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's house, they invited to go and kill him. Why? Because we say Biafra independence. You were all laughing at us. That laugh that you were laughing at us, and all those Biafrans that have been massacred and killed, their blood are now laughing at all of you as you are all running away from your homes in Yoruba land, running away from your homes in Hausa land, running away from your homes in Middle Belt, running away from your homes in the northern region. Biafran people had already mounted a defense mechanism, a resistive one that you cannot break through. And we are doing what? Intensifying it. That is why we need all Biafrans to come in, come down from the fence, join us in making sure we make this a reality in our own time. If you don't want your friends, your families that you left back home to start being invaded and they will be running away from their homes, they will be running to nowhere which they know there is existing army of Biafra that is not allowing Biafra land to be like what you are seeing here in other parts of Nigeria. So come and join us now. Biafra army are not your problem, but they are the solution to the problems of the massacre in Nigeria. It is high time all of you came to the understanding that we have a common enemy, a common problem. And that common problem is this terrorist that you see that has taken over Nigeria. Biafra is the only solution. Biafra is the only savior that is standing, trying to block that wall of terrorists that is coming down to come and destroy the Christian churches and everybody in it. By the time you pull Biafra out, the Biafra army out, those terrorist rocks will come down and crush off the Christian churches and everyone will become debris. It is not by crying and wailing and shouting on UN and shouting on America and shouting on Russia to come to your aid. You have to stand up to defend yourself. You have to fight your war. People from outside country will not come and fight your war for you. You have to fight your war. You can only ask them for aid. You can only ask them to come and intervene, to also give you a voice. What we are doing now is to make them give you a voice. We have been able to establish that voice for you. They are speaking for you now. You can see that all the medias now, the international medias are speaking for you now. What you should do is to capitalize on it and then make sure you make your story to go far. I don't know what you want us to do again for you. We've taken the story to US. We've taken it to UK. We've taken it to Russia. We've taken it to America, to Europe. They are all talking about it now. What you need to do is to rise up and fight for your survival. If you are a Biafran, it is time you come and support. It is time you come and support. Our fundraising comes up on Saturday, our town hall meeting on Sundays. Meet the reps and admins in your countries under BRGI so that you can participate and do your contributions. You can remit the money through your reps and admins, they will report it back to the government. Come and support. Go and support your Biafra army back home so that they can sustain the defense. We know we have enemies and we are expecting to see more attacks coming. So we are not perturbed. Now, this is what Tinubu made the entire world to understand. Tinubu made the entire world to understand that the Biafran people declared independence and that they are sustaining that independence and that Nigeria is fighting against them because of that independence. That is where you see the topic of this my program. Nigeria at 65. Tinubu confessed that Nigeria had declared war against Biafra independence. Do you now understand the point? So for those of you that claim you were not aware that or that nobody recognized Biafra independence, or that nobody recognized Biafra army, or that nobody recognized Simon Ekpa, or that nobody recognized BRGIA, or that nobody recognized Biafra de facto government in exile, or that nobody recognized Biafra de facto government in the homeland, or that nobody recognized IPOB. I want you to understand something now. Biafran people declared their independence, and Nigeria accepts and acknowledges this fact. And according to Tinubu, Tinubu said, we had declared war on Biafra independence. I want you to ignore the one here that they put about bandits and terrorists. This is where you should focus on. Here. When Nigeria government and Nigerian media are addressing the Biafran people, they don't address you as Biafra Republic government in exile. They don't address you as Biafra de facto government in the homeland. They don't address you as Biafra army. No, they don't want to give you that credence. But when they are telling you indigenous people of Biafra, look at it, indigenous people of Biafra, you know that they are referring to you. You know they are referring to you. So Tinubu is directly and indirectly acknowledging the declaration of independence of Biafra outrightly from his statement. He is making people to know that Biafra people declared independence, and it means a war of survival. So that is to tell you that the Biafra government in exile, the Biafra de facto government in the homeland, the Biafra Liberation Army are winning the war of independence. If you were not winning the war of independence, will a president of a country called Nigeria come out to address the world and will be making reference to you to have been in war with you? What kind of war have you been in with Nigeria? It is the war of Biafra independence. Buhari told you that we killed over millions to keep Nigeria as one. What was the killing and at what point? That was the genocidal war of 67 to 70s. They had to kill, they had to maim over millions to keep Nigeria as one. And Tinubu is directly telling you that he and his Nigerian government acknowledge that Biafra independence, that the indigenous people of Biafra declared their independence, and then Nigerian government declared war on the independence of Biafra. So they have been fighting the war. That is what he is acknowledging here. They know the kind of war they have been fighting. They know what they have been facing in the hands of the Biafra Defense Forces. They know how much body bags they have been taking on. Every day they come and tell you that they have poisoned Biafra Defense Forces and we clap for you. The next one, they say they have killed all the Biafra Defense Forces generals and we clap for you. The next one, they come and say Biafra Defense Forces generals don't exist again and we clap for you. But every day, we are seeing CTV camera bringing out the video of how the war is ongoing in Biafra land. I want to look for the video of the CCTV camera where Nigerian terrorist government are towing out their armored tankers. They are towing out their armored tankers out of Biafra land, the one that Biafra army have decimated and destroyed. I'm looking for the video now, and I want to bring it to the screen so that all of you can see and know when Tinubu in this statement said that they had been fighting war against the indigenous people of Biafra. So that means he understands the kind of war that the indigenous people of Biafra had been fighting with them since the declaration of what? Independence. So, for those of you that have been living in denial and living in the dark and claiming that, oh, nobody knows what you're doing, nothing is happening, this and that, you had happened to be the biggest fool of the time. Because even the people that know the war and the intensity of what is happening, know how many of their body bags they've been taking on, and they know what they have been seeing and what they have been experiencing. And that is why they told you this. I think this is the video. Oh, this one will not zoom the way we want. I don't know why. Maybe because it is a video. Let's get the one that will zoom the way we want. Okay. If you look at this, I think this will be a bit clearer. Now, this is armored tanker that has been destroyed by Biafra Defense Forces. Now, if Biafra Defense Forces were not in war with these terrorists in uniforms, why will you be seeing armored tanker?
They will be
Why will you be seeing
destroyed by
armored tanker? If we are not in war, why will you be seeing armored tanker? You are seeing armored tanker that has been destroyed by Biafra army, and they are towing it out of Biafra land. This is it. They are towing it out of Biafra land. This video was captured on the CCTV camera of the Biafra Defense Forces on the 18th of September. 18th of September. 18th of September. Not the one of January 2025. This 18th of September of 2025. Are you getting the point? Aha. So this is just for you to understand and to hear when Tinubu said that when Tinubu said that they have been fighting war of independence with Biafran people. This is for you to see and understand, because some of you who claims that Biafra army are not doing anything, nothing is happening, this and that, you are the real enemies of your own people. I don't know if you are even worse than Ohaneze, Igbo, and the governors of the East. Oh, this one is zooming out. Let me see. Why was the other one not zooming out like this? If the other one can zoom out like this, very fine. Aha, okay. This one has zoomed out the way I wanted. So let me bring it back to the screen now. Aha, very good. Okay. This one has zoomed the way I wanted it. Okay, so you can all see this here now. Aha. You can all see this here. This is, you can see the date, 2025, September 18, as at 10:29 a.m. This is when this CCTV camera captured these terrorists towing out their destroyed armored tankers by Almighty Ogbunigwe out of Biafra land. Look at them all.
army to the east,
If
where they will be destroyed by Elohim.
If Biafra army
Then the sun
were not destroying these people, and if we were not at war, ask me waiting armored tanker they do for Biafra land. Ask me waiting armored tanker they do for Biafra land where they destroy. Then they are towing it out of Biafra land. They told you that they have been fighting war of independence on IPOB. IPOB means the indigenous people of Biafra. Mhm. So you have to now carry the dead and the bakara of the remains of the armored tankers that have been destroyed. If it is not war that is happening, and if the Biafra Defense Forces are not winning the war, why would Nigeria terrorists be towing their armored tankers out of Biafra land from the war zone? Look at how Biafra army have destroyed the thing. They destroyed the thing, so they carry it in a very shambolic way. Look at them here. Look at them here. Look at them here. Now, armored tanker, now they do like this, though, for you to see how far the disgrace of Nigeria has become. So Tinubu acknowledging that they have been fighting war against Biafran people is actually something that the entire world had waited to hear and to get this very message. Yes. It is a confession that we had waited for. That Nigerian government will open their mouth and tell you, we have been fighting war of independence against the Biafra people. We have been fighting war of independence against the Biafra people. And the Biafra army had destroying them on daily basis. You can see the video. This video here is on this video here is on the 18th of September. 18th of September to today is how many days? Biafra army destroyed Nigeria terrorists armored tankers that came to kill Biafran people. And then Tinubu coming to address Nigerians. God used his mouth to open his mouth and say, we have been fighting war against the indigenous people of Biafra independence. We have been fighting war against the declaration of independence of the indigenous people of Biafra. We have been fighting war against Biafra independence. For those of you that did not hear it well and did not understand it well, know it now that your independence has been recognized and known. Are you getting the point? And that is why they are bringing the war back to your homes. They are bringing the war back to your homes. They are bringing the war to you because you did not go to just steal something like bandits. When they call them bandits, they are calling them the bandits so that you will not take them serious, because a bandit is just going to go and steal something and go. But a terrorist is coming to wipe out. Now you are opposing the existence of Nigerian terrorist government because you want your own existence. You're fighting for your own existence. You're fighting for your own independence. So they have to declare war on you. Do you see that Ukraine are fighting war with Russia because of what? Existence of humanity. Not because of oil and gas, because of the existence of humanity. You also see that Israel are rebouncing back on the terrorists that slaughtered their babies, women, and children on October 7th in the name of Hamas. Because of what? Because they want the survival of their humanity, the survival of the independence and the self-determination. Why must you come and start slaughtering our people, which have a right to live? So Israel is fighting for the existence of their independence and to sustain the lives of their people that were slaughtered, over 1,200 on October 7th. That is why they are fighting for that survival. Biafra independence is a war of survival. For Tinubu to acknowledge that Biafran people declared independence and then Nigeria declared war against Biafra independence. It is another big win that they have finally used their mouth to confess and acknowledge the independence declaration of Biafra. And you can see how Biafran people are winning the war. Kudos to all of you who are making it happen. This is 18th of September 2025 as at 10:29 a.m. of the day. After Nigerian terrorists came to Biafra land to slaughter our women, babies, and children, this is the battlefield. This is the war front. This is the red zone. They are coming out from the red zone. The red zone is from where you see them coming out. So they go to combat the Biafra army so that they will destroy Biafra army. Biafra army destroy them with Ogbunigwe. Dismantle and destroy their armor tankers, and they are towing those armor tankers out of Biafra land. This is how they have been towing many of their armor tankers out of Biafra land. And Biafra Defense Forces don't always even care to capture the video to come and show you. But they just wanted you to see the level of the war that they are fighting and how formidable they are and how they are winning the war. If this is September 18, 2025, what do you think has been happening since November 2024 when we were preparing for the declaration of independence, declaration of Biafra? Then you will understand that it was more than this. I salute all Biafrans. I just want you to see and know and understand the power of what you are doing. But shame on the Igbo politicians because they have become a disgrace. They only think of how to eliminate Biafra and to eliminate the existence of Biafra, while the terrorists are looking for a way of eliminating you as well. And these same northern governors are protecting the terrorists. So Biafran people, hold these Igbo criminal politicians accountable for the massacre of Biafrans and for the imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and our Biafran gallant men and women, which they are looking for to hunt every day. And pray for Biafra Defense Forces because they are neutralizing the terrorists of one Nigeria. And Tinubu is confessing from his message that Biafra people are at war of independence with Nigeria, and then Biafra people are winning them. Yes. We must continue to win, and we will continue to win because we are fighting for our babies, women, and children, and our survival. We are not fighting to lord it on anybody. We are not fighting to destroy people from their ancestral lands and to take over. It is our own land. We had existed before now, and nobody can come and take over our lands away from us. I salute all Biafrans. Please, because of time, there is no calling in and coming to the studio to speak today. I think maybe tomorrow, if I will start earlier based on my time availability, then that would be nice. I salute you all Biafrans, and I encourage you to support Biafra and stand your ground for Biafra. God will continue to expose these terrorists of one Nigeria. Continue to share every video that you see that they are massacring Christians in Nigeria. It is a way of contacting and exposing and destroying the terrorist cabal in Nigeria so that everybody will be free. Wake up, oh, don't sleep, because it is not time to sleep. It is time for war, the war of freedom. Tinubu is confessing that we are winning them. So stand up and fight the war. Join the fight and defend yourself by funding your Biafra freedom so that we can do more. I salute all of you. They will from here.
Then the sun will rise over the land of Biafra, never to dim again for eternity. They send their army, their zombie army, to the east, where they will be destroyed by Elohim. Then the sun will rise over the land of Biafra, never to dim again for eternity. It was today that the full weight of they send their army, their zombie army, to the east, where they will be destroyed by Elohim. Then the sun will rise over the land of Biafra, never to dim again for eternity. It was today that the full weight of that message that I was giving dawned on me. When I was on air and I was saying that we would draw them to the east, and the real bad eggs will take over their land, I didn't even know what I was saying, but it has happened today. Do you know who Kebi people are? You don't know, but I will tell you later. The people who are in Olu today fighting, most of them are from Kebi State. They're in the Nigerian army. They came to Olu to kill Biafran people. But as they left the north, their lands are being taken over by hardened savages and animals from across the Sahel that their political masters imported into the zoo. All of the army, Nigerian army in Biafra land, you are going to die there. You will die in Biafra land. All of you will die there. Our people don't understand this very message that we are giving to them. But I do hope that after tonight, they'll get it. All of you will die in Biafra land, those in Olu, those elsewhere. The best option for you is to take off your uniform and run away before it is too late. Go back to your land, those of you from Kebbi State. Go back to Kebbi to go and save your land. Because as you are in Olu, you have no village anymore to go back to in Kebbi. It's gone. Your village is gone and gone for good. That is the work of Almighty God in heaven. The same prophecy I was given, that there is no other religious minister in the zoo that can match 0.0000001% of the accuracy of our prediction. No, nobody can. I'm begging. Now listen carefully to me. All of you in Biafra land are going to die. Even the Pakistani mercenaries that we saw in Olu, all of you.
$7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year. 7,000. According to the story came out. And you don't hear much about it. Okay? You don't. You hear a lot about Gaza. You hear about Christians. Christians get killed. Even some Christians don't talk about it enough. They put more focus onto what's going on with Gaza because it's easier to have a enemy that is disliked than this. However, this is the reality of it, what's going on in Nigeria right now. 7,000 Christians have been killed during the first 220 days of 2025. A civil society watchdog says this is an average of 35 killings a day, according to a recent report published by the Nigeria-based human rights NGO and International Society for Civil Liberties and the Rule of Law. Nigeria has long been an epicenter of Christian persecution, with more Christians killed for their faith in Nigeria than in the rest of the world combined. Damn. According to human rights organization Open Doors, which monitors the persecution of Christians around the globe, the violence has displaced at least 12 million Christians since 2009. 16 years, according to Inner Society. That year marked the start of Boko Haram's insurgency to establish a caliphate in Nigeria and the broader Sahel. In the 16 years since, Inter Society estimates 189,000 civilians have been killed, 125,000 of whom were Christians, and 60,000 were liberal Muslims. The Inter Society reports that 7,087 Christians were killed in Nigeria between January 1st and August 10th, and that 7,800 were abducted in the same period. The report identified Benue State and Nigeria Middle Belt as among the hardest hit, with at least 1,100 deaths, including the Yalawata massacre in June, with 280 Christians were killed. Rob, if you have a clip to play, is this the clip of the gentleman explaining what's going on, or this is the one them running out? Okay, go for it. It's after church service, I believe, by the way.
That's every gunshot you're hearing is hitting a person.
My people, my family members, they died in this house. 11. And some died in the other stores. 8. Some died here. My whole family members that died yesterday, day before yesterday, on that very day, they were 20. That is my own family members. I'm not talking about any other thing. That is my own family members. This is my store. Those shops are my stores. Those places are being burned.
This work.
Those places, this place is being burned. Here and up, my house is up there. That place also is burned. And the store where I pack my goods, I store my goods everywhere, has burned. They burned my clothes, they burned everything, they burned our food, all my family members. What we came out with is our clothes, what we wear. And I, standing here, this is what I came out with. And this is the only thing that I have. There's no anything with me.
Vinny, thoughts?
Going back to exactly what I was talking about, and it's like, I'm going to be honest. I had no idea. And why is that? Because the mainstream media doesn't give a damn, and they're not reporting this. It took Bill Maher. And you guys know me. I'm one of the most critical about this freaking guy, TDS. He goes back, he goes left, he goes right. It took him having Nancy Mace on to bring this up. Bob, you want to play this clip? Yeah, play this clip, please.
Nigeria. I mean, the fact that this issue has not gotten on people's radar.
Right, no one's talking about it.
It's pretty amazing. If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck.
Yep.
You are in a bubble. Not, and again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
It's
a great point.
Thank you. Because no one will talk about it, so thank you.
Absolutely.
And so why? Is it because, and he said this, Adam, I know you said this at the point, I got to give you credit where credit's due. No Jews, no news. Okay? This is a calling for all the Christian people. Like, where are you at? And you said it, I had to highlight it. 41, in 2023, 4,100 Christians killed. That's 82% of all faith-based related killings worldwide. Guys, 84% of every Christian dying is right there. Okay, and meanwhile, guess what the U.S. lawmakers are pushing? They're pushing. They haven't declared anything, labeling Nigeria a country of particular concern. All right, what particular concern? The concern is there, and this guys, and the most powerful part. And I have to hold back my freaking emotions with all this persecution, Pat. 94% of Nigerian Catholics are still going to mass every week. Their faith is freaking unshaken, even in the face of death. Rob, can you play this clip? Look at this. Look at that. They're refusing. Holy moly. God bless them. Look at this.
We praise your name.
Wow. You can stop it, Rob. So that's what faith over fear. Look at that, Tom. Faith. And they're not stopping. They're not stopping. And I absolutely love Pat. They can't. What are they going to do? bow down and say, no, we're sorry. No. You got to stick up for your faith, and that's it. Wow.
Tom.
This is heavy stuff. And I'm glad to finally see it coming out in media so that people can see the truth of what's going on in this world. This is why the world needs a savior. And what you have here is you have people understanding that a church is not a building. A church is a gathering of believers who are supporting each other, holding hands in the remnant of the building there, not knowing if their oppressors are going to return to finish the job on them. That is faith in action. That is faith over fear. And what you also have is, although Nigeria is rich in resources, they got a lot of natural resources. The way to get people to help you in this world is to have oil, to have gold, or have rich minerals, and then the West that needs those is more likely to give you aid and come help. That's not a criticism, that's a fact. And the thing that inspires me is that these people are living and trying to do it. What further inspires me is the churches and organizations around the world that are continuing to send missionaries and relief supplies into these areas. Darfur has been going on for 20 years now. Darfur, 20 years. And so to understand the power of the faith is to see it right there and to say, what could make someone there simply come together and pray? Not pick up arms, not go on a retaliation mission, but to come together and pray in encouragement. That's what this is all about. The number one persecuted group on earth is Christians. You can spin it any way you want, but you'd be wrong. This is what's happening. And they're returning prayer and peace in the face of persecution. And you've got governments, in this case, it happens to be a Sunni side of the Islamic tradition that is in control of government, that is systematically trying to wipe everybody else out, specifically the Christians. And the reason the Christians are dangerous, if you ask, they will tell you, is because they're fearless and they keep talking about Christ and they keep attempting to bring the good news of Jesus to other people, which causes people to convert. It's not political. It's not. Are you scared about carrying a Republican or a Democrat voter ID? No, I'll just carry independent. So if anybody steals my wallet, they won't pick on me. No, these are people that are bringing the good news of Jesus Christ, and these people are unafraid. And that is what the other side fears, is the power of the Holy Spirit and people converting. So what do? They think that by burning the churches and killing the people that they're doing it. This is horrifying. But they are liberating, but they are also inspiring people to be missionaries, to reach out and do it. And I just wish that the attitude of the media wouldn't be the right people are dying.
Yeah.
Adam.
Well, I don't know how you guys haven't noticed this, but this is something that's been going on for years and years and years and years, and the media just doesn't cover it. But it doesn't take an investigative journalism to realize that the following, they famously say not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists just happen to be Islamists. And I would like to separate what it is between it being an Islamist or jihadist, between a normal, peace-loving Muslim. Like, let's get real here. But all these groups have something in common, whether it's ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, the Boko Haram, that's just murdering Christians in Nigeria, whether it's the Islamic Jihad, whether it's the Houthis in Yemen, they're all jihadists, which makes me wonder, Hamas is literally one of these groups. This is their function. They want to kill people who are not like them. The only difference is all these other groups are focusing on Christians. Hamas just happens to be focusing on Jews. But they famously say, first they come for the Saturday people, but then guess what? Then they come for the Sunday people. These people do not want to coexist. What don't you get, guys? What don't you get? I mean, you might have your criticism of what's going on in Gaza, but Jews or Israelis, because not all Israelis are Jewish, have a very deep understanding of it's kill or be killed. Unfortunately, you think you're going to negotiate with Boko Haram? You think you're going to reason with these people that are literally mowing people down? They're leaving church. They have a higher calling from Allah to commit jihad or practice jihad, and there's nothing stopping them. Pat, you always talk about choose your enemies wisely. you know, and you give credit to your enemies. You give them credit because they're very clear on what they want. They want to take you out in business or they want to take you out in life. It's very clear what's happening. You said no Jews, no news. Correct. Why are there protests just for Gaza? I mean, show me a protest for what's going on in Nigeria. Christians getting mowed down, nothing. Show me a protest for what's going on in Sudan, millions of people. Show me a protest of what's going on in Ukraine at this point, nothing. So the hypocrisy that comes from, well, it's what's going to genocide in Gaza. There's other countries in the world where Christians are being persecuted, not just persecuted, killed, beheaded. You see what's going on in Syria.
That's literally, they're trying to do 125,000 people
murdering. You see what happened with the Druze and the Christians in Syria. But, you know, I always have fun when I see people doing the Free Palestine. Okay, cool, I respect that. And I said, you see these interviews. Why are you doing this? We're anti-war. Great. Name me one other protest you've ever been to. Name me one other. No, this is the only thing I've ever done. So that's the hypocrisy that they've never gone to any other anti-war protest other than what's going on in Gaza.
Let me tell you guys.